By the power invested in me by the International Society of Rhetoricians and English Majors, I bid you guinea hens to come forth. Come on. Come on. You know, it's too distant, Comp 1, to get it on the camera. I can see it way off in the forest there, but just caught a glimpse of a black squirrel. That's why I love my neighborhood so much. It's diversity. I'll tell you one other thing, too, in the things you don't need to know category. One of my goals this semester was to be named Future Builder of the Week at Central Lakes College. I haven't made it yet. The person who decides Future Builder of the Week is a wonderful man named Larry Kellerman, whose heart is as big as Crow Wing County. He's getting near the end of his career. I think I've mentioned him on a couple of these vids, and he sort of decides who gets to be Future Builder of the Week. I've been wearing this button on my bag because I'm not much of a button wearer, and Larry says that's not prominent enough, so to speak. Well, is this prominent enough, Larry? I'm wearing it on the internet. I still don't expect to be named Future Builder of the Week, and that's why I got my sights set on winning that Christmas tree decorating contest I wrote you about in a news item on D2L, the Christmas Tree of the Humanities. And again, you can just write in your vote for tree number 42 to the Central Lakes College Student Senate. For you, it would mean virtual pizza, but it might taste okay. I'm gonna, in this last video, for this course, and thank you for putting up with me all across the semester as I took a shot at being an online teacher. I'd like to make some larger remarks about education, and also like to give you a little bit of a preview of what many of you are going to be facing in Comp 2. A few of you are following me into Comp 2, but many of you are going to take it from other teachers, and I just got a little piece of advice there, especially if this is going to be the last moment that I get to be your teacher. I want to tell you a story, a very famous story about rhetoric that I realized the other day I completely forgot to tell my face-to-face students, which means they'll never hear it. It's time for the final this week, and I don't think I'll take their time up with it. But for once, you will hear something that they don't. And it's just going to be sort of how I end things today. Regarding education, I simply want to say this. I was standing in my films appreciation class the other day, and I said, how many of you are graduating this spring? And a lot of hands went in the air. There's over 30 students in that course, and I looked ahead with my imagination to what that day would be like, and I can tell you, as I told them, that it will be like this. They're going to put on their academic gowns, their regalia, so to speak, and we're going to be at Brainerd Senior High School. Students are all going to be dressed up, they're going to have their gown, and they're going to have their hat on with the tassel, fair, and you all remember what that's like when graduating from high school. And the faculty will be there too. And we are going to wear our academic robes, and maybe you don't know this, but there's colors that denote what school we came from. I'll be wearing colors that evoke St. Cloud State, because that's where my master's degree is from. The students, one by one, will have their name called. There'll be speeches, like I told you in the last video. I don't know who the graduation speakers will be, but we've got to have a speech. It's a graduation. And then they're going to walk up one by one after their names are called. They're going to shake the hands, probably of the deans, the provost, the president of the college, Professor Larry Lundblad, and they're going to get receive their 2-year AA degree, Associate of Arts degree. I hope that none of those students that walk through that line and taking that degree think, because of the weight of the culture or media or whatever, that that's going to be the end of their education. I hope it doesn't stop there, and I'm telling that to you. If you go on and get the AA degree, if you get a bachelor's degree, even if you go on and take a master's degree, there's people that leave Central Lakes College and take PhDs. I hope that no one, this is just kind of a hope, I hope that none of them think that that is the end of their education. Education, becoming an educated person, reaching for wisdom, is something every thoughtful teacher and student dreams of. And I hope you recognize that that's a lifelong process. That's why Central Lakes College is starting up a brand new program that I'm going to be helping out a little bit with, called the Center for Lifelong Learning, run by a guy named Bill Brecken, who I'd like to plug in this little video. And I want to say this too. I'm not going to burden you with the real true secret story of what brought me to Central Lakes College in the middle of my life, in the middle of my career hopefully. But I do want to tell you that I stood in a classroom for almost 20 years doing exactly the same thing. And circumstances, sort of ensued that encouraged me to move on. In all those years in that classroom, I really thought that I was continuing to grow and learn as a teacher and as a student of the world, student of literature, rhetoric, composition. Truth be told, even though I had a slash and burn policy at the end of the year, starting over in the following year with all new activities, so I thought, after 18, 19 years, I looked up and realized that as drastically abstract random as I am, I was doing almost the exact same thing that I had done the year before. And how happy I am. I cannot tell you how joyful I am to have sort of gone through the last little 2-year journey where a lot of things happened to me. I went back to school at the age of 49, got a master's degree. I'm teaching in 2 different schools, the College of St. Benedict and my main work at Central Lakes College, which I'm just so excited about. And I am, for the first time in many years, excitedly learning all kinds of new things. I've never taught a film studies class before, and I did my best at it. I've never taught Comp 1, the way it's offered at Central Lakes College. I've never taught classical mythology, and on January 9, I'm going to be starting up a classical mythology class. Almost 45 people signed up for it. Technology-wise, I didn't even know what D2L is, and I know especially first part of the semester, you saw it slap me around a little bit, but I'm teaching online now, and at least a little bit, and I just cannot tell you how excited I am in the middle of my life to recognize that real education, a true, authentic education, requires constant reinvention and striving. It never ends. There's those dang guinea hens again. They follow me everywhere. And I just wanted to say that. I hope you keep learning till the final minutes of your story. I just wanted to tell you that. Regarding learning, and just to give you a little bit of a heads up on Comp 2, just a tiny piece of advice. Composition 2 is the counterpart of this course. This is the precursor to it. And you're going to be writing a research paper there. Some of you are going to write it for me. Some of you are going to write it for other people. You're really writing it for yourself is what I want to say. Comp 2 is a place where you have an opportunity to jump outside one of the wrong paradigms about school. And that's this. The teachers are like these dispensers of knowledge, right? We walk into the room and you're sitting there, and we lecture and maybe sprinkle knowledge on you, and hopefully you absorb it. In this model, teachers are the owners of knowledge and wisdom, and you're sort of its recipients. And what I want you to think of as you go into Comp 2, whether you're with me or other English faculty at CLC, would you please take a shot at recognizing that you too can be a knowledge generator. And whatever topic you pick out to write that paper about is going to be something that you're in charge of. You get to decide what you know and what you learn and what you structure your consciousness with. And I just had to say that. And I wish you all the luck in the world in Composition 2 and all the rest of the courses that you take at CLC and elsewhere. And I've got one final story. And I don't need my glasses anymore because I write everything off this little sheet of paper. About 17 centuries ago, this is a big story in rhetoric, by the way. Who knows if it's true or not. There was a man named Jerome. His full name was Saint Jerome. And he got really sick once. Came down with a terrible fever. In the throes of that fever, he had a dream or a vision. And the vision was of a man who appeared at the foot of his bed, a man made out of light, who said to him, "You know what, you're sick, but you're going to get better. And when you do, I want you to rise up off that bed, and I want you to burn all of your secular books, every one of them." A few hours later, the fever broke. Jerome awoke, and he did exactly what that being had told him. he started in making a fire and tossing one secular book after another onto the pile. Partway through the book burning activity, Jerome encountered a book that was absolutely precious to him, and it's a secular book written by another Roman who had lived a couple hundred years before him, named Cicero, one of the great thinkers and writers in the rich history of rhetoric. When he got to that book, he just could not do it. He loved it. It was a book about rhetoric. And he was in a spot. He'd been told to burn the book, and yet he couldn't. So he had to think his way out of that intellectual problem. And what Jerome decided right on the spot there was that it would be okay to keep that book as long as he used rhetorical knowledge, which helped him speak and write, to serve the church. And I think he got away with it. I want to tell you too that an awful lot of people in that era, in the latter part of the Roman Empire, did exactly the same. There's a Frenchman named Perrin who believes that that was one of the main reasons that the Roman Empire collapsed. All the great intellectuals of that society used their study of rhetoric to serve not the body politic, but the body paideia, so to speak, to enlist the Latin. And this is a really interesting idea to me. As a rhetorician, officially living in the middle of an empire named America, here in the 21st century. That is an officially interesting idea to me. Now, this may not be your story. You may not serve that, right? But we are all serving something. And the last question that I want to put before you is this. What are you going to do in the days and weeks and months and years ahead with your responsibilities with language? Who are you going to serve? Is it going to be your family? Is it going to be a corporation? I have no idea. That's up for you to decide. But I think it's a pretty important question. The alternative question, I think, is for what do you live? If there's a bigger or better question to end a course on in the humanities, I can't think of it. There's something teachers don't do enough, which is express gratitude to their students, to thank them. And even though many of you are people I haven't even seen, I know you well. I've been reading you. I've been trying to read you definitively. And I want to thank you for being my students and for putting up with me all these months and across all these videos. And as an agent of Central Lakes College, I just wish you all the best. And I hope your story just goes great. Look over your shoulder once in a while. Shoot me an email. I won't stop wondering how it turns out. Thank you.